Hello, everybody. This is Tony Rizzano, and this is another episode of the world famous The University of Love, the best podcast in uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco, seis, siete, ocho, nueve, diez galaxies. But ladies and gentlemen, we just call this show Online Marketing Moves, and we are coming to you live today. Today is Thursday, March the 14th, 2024. Ladies and gentlemen, how are you doing today? You know, I'm very excited about this time of the year. For people that live, I, it's very strange sometimes when I think about like the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere. Like I, I'm I live in America, and here it's starting to warm up. It is becoming like uh spring. Spring is like 10 days away, something like that. And when you think about like in Australia, it's gonna be the fall. You know, and I remember when I was a kid, I used to watch the Australian Open. It's a tennis match for you non-sports people. But it would be January, and I'd be sitting in my house. I'd be freezing. You know, growing up in Missouri, it can get cold in Missouri. It'd be like 10 degrees, and they're out there with no jacket. They're just in shorts and a t-shirt, and I'm like, why is it so warm over there? And they told me when I was in school, they're like, hey, it's the opposite. I'm like, the opposite can't be, man. It can't be the opposite. That's bananas. And then I remember when I was in the Navy, and we took a little trip, and we got down by the equator. I think we did go into the southern hemisphere. And I just remember it was January, and I'm still thinking, oh man, it's cold. It was like 90 degrees 90 degrees outside in like a January. And I'm like, this is bananas. So you know you don't really realize, and we're gonna get started on the episode, but you don't really realize like how big the world is. You don't realize how like just big like this planet is. You don't realize, sometimes you don't appreciate the planet. Like the world is big. Like I live in America, and for me, I've been to every state, you know, in America, and it's kind of bananas. And if it wasn't for the truck driving, I probably would have never been to every state. Like what am I gonna do in North Dakota? Like what is there? It's very windy in North Dakota, by the way. But can you imagine like people that go like they just want to go all the time? God bless them. It ain't what I want to do, but the world is big, and it's a beautiful place, and you should definitely go out and do a little exploration. I'm not saying that, but I don't need to go to every continent. I don't need to see every country in every part of the world. Take a picture for me, send it to me, let me see it, and I'll be like, hey, that's wonderful. Of course, I want to go to Spain or something like that, but I don't have to go to I don't need to go to you know Luxembourg. Maybe I can pass on that, but that's just me. But anyway, God bless the world. God bless wherever you live. Whether you're coming into the springtime or you getting ready for the fall. It always baffles me when I think about Australia. Like it's 4th of July, and it's hot. It's hot as Hades down in old Atlanta, Georgia, and it's like the dead of winter right there. It's like that's kind of bananas. But hey, It is what it is. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, today we are going to talk about something very important. Today we are going to talk about why overlearning. Are you overlearning on purpose? Are you overlearning because you don't want to get started? Or you it's not that you don't want to get started, but you have you have a fear of getting started. So we have to examine that. Now, side note, I am not a doctor. I'm handsome as a doctor might be, as you might see one of those handsome doctors on TV, but I am not a licensed doctor. Aaron, I remember not to, I mean, I hate to get on another side note, but I don't know if you kids know who this is. It's a guy I used to see every now and then. People would say he was a doctor. His name was Dr. Sebi, Sebi. And Dr. Sebi claimed that he cured AIDS or something like that. And if you're off into the weeds and you into conspiracy theories, I saw a couple times where people were like, they killed him because he had the cure for AIDS. Which is bananas. You know what I mean? But but anyway, they was always promoting Dr. Sebi as a doctor. And then one time I had to look it up. I'm like, is this guy a doctor? I said, this guy can't be a doctor. Because the only thing he talked about was like, getting mucus out of your body, which is, and eating fruit that has seeds in it, which I could understand that, because they do a lot of shenanigans with the fruit and all that kind of stuff with the fruit and vegetables, these days. But you know, uh, seedless fruit, and I mean, eating fruit is better than shoving candy bars down your throat. So to me, it doesn't really matter, if you're eating fruit that has seeds in it or not. If you're eating seedless grapes, I would still take my chance with seedless grapes over eating 3 Milky Ways every day. And I used to enjoy a good Milky Way. I still do, but I don't eat. Definitely have cut down on the Milky Ways. But ladies and gentlemen, let's get into the show. We are going to talk about, as I stated before, we are going to talk about, do you are you are you over learning because you don't want to get started? And what I mean by that is, you know, if you watch the same video about how to start a YouTube channel like 20 times and you haven't set up a YouTube channel yet, how much do you need to know about YouTube? Listen, you film a video, okay? This is what you do for YouTube. You get a camera, or you get your phone. You make sure the sound is great. You record yourself. You talk for a little bit. You upload it. You know what I'm saying? You upload it. You try to come up with a good search engine title, and then you make sure let me go back, and before, and you think about the title you want to create, and in the video you say the title a couple times, keywords, for the search engine optimization, and then you go. That's it. You create a video, and get started. And I wouldn't even worry about search engine optimization. I would just start shooting videos. And then, you just shoot a few videos. Then you like, all right, let me start, doing the thing that I need to do so people can see it. And that's what, we're going to talk about today. Are you learning and learning and learning? Are you taking the same class over and over and over and never getting started? Listen, that is the kiss of death. Okay, you don't want to do that. And the reason why you don't want to do that is because you owe it to yourself. So you owe it. Let me tell you something. You owe it to yourself to go ahead, spread your wings, and give everything you got to the thing that you want to do. Now, I ain't talking in circles. I'm talking directly to you. Okay. You owe it to yourself to do the thing that is necessary, because if you listen to this show, then you want to change your life in some shape, form, or fashion. And so the it is great to learn. It is cool to learn, but the thing you don't want to do, you don't want to be one of those people who learn, and never apply nothing. You know what you are? You're a student. You're not a baby. You're not a student. You are a person who wants to apply the things that they learn and make some money. Okay? This is what we're here for, you know? You owe it. And you don't even have to owe it to yourself. You owe it to your significant other. You owe it to your child, your children. You owe it to your friends, your family. You know, you owe it to them too, because you can you might be the one to inspire other people to be like, you know what? If this schlub, no disrespect, by the way, if this schlub can get started and do things that are, doesn't seem to be out of his, you know, out, and different, then I can too. This is like this year when I this year when I go home for the family this year when I go home for my family reunion, uh, because as you know, as I've stated in this podcast, you might not know, but as I stated in this podcast before, I went a long time and I didn't tell anybody that I was doing a podcast. I just wanted to get started, and the reason why I wanted to get started was, I read one day, I read an article about starting a podcast or whatever, and I was like, all right, that's cool. And I was like, man, you know what? I can start my own podcast. And then I read the article again, and I was like, all right, and I ain't even gonna mess around no more. I'm just gonna start. And so I went and watched a YouTube video, and this is not no pat on the back. I ain't looking for no, none of that. I'm just telling you what I did. I went to YouTube. I looked at, sound or whatever you might need for a podcast, and they was like, because I was on the road, and I was like, well, how I'm gonna set up equipment, because I saw these people with these microphones hanging from everywhere, and I'm like, man, I'm in a truck, and they like, oh, you can just record on your phone, and I was like, all right, and so I ordered a $20 mic, got the mic, and then I waited another month, and then I was like, all right, we just gonna go, and I started recording, and then that was that, and it helped me a lot. It helped me, and this, and it will help you in this way. Starting the podcast helped me with the confidence, like, all right, if I can do this, there ain't nothing that I can't do, that if I put my mind to something, I know I can do it. I know I can get started. You're gonna have bumps in the road. You're gonna, like I told you before, at times it feels like, man, who, you know are people listening, but and you're gonna feel, you're gonna set up it's just like I talked about yesterday. You want the pipeline, you want people knocking at the door, but in the beginning, no matter what you set up, no matter what you do, it might not be as many knocks as you want, but the thing is, you're getting knocks. One of the greatest things that will happen to you, trust me, one of the greatest things that will happen to you is when you get that first sale. Okay, I remember, I'm just gonna give you an example. I remember when I tried to do MLM once, and I was like, I'm just gonna go for it, and I put my effort into it, and it took me like 4 months, and I got a sale, and I remember I got my sale. I danced around, and then there was like the Friday they sent me the money. It was like $70, $75, and I probably spent $80, but it felt good. It felt good that I got the first sale, and I was like, all right, I know I could sell. I could sell, if I could sell this stuff. Now that I reflect on it, if I could sell this stuff, I can do anything. You know what I mean? And so you want to get out of the over learning, to learn to be to learn to be to learn is not going to get you anywhere. It's only going to get you a lot of knowledge, that you're not gonna use, and you don't want that. You want to honestly, you want to get started. You want to learn a little bit. Apply what you're learning. Learn and apply. Learn and apply. You do not want to be one of these people who study some more, study some more, study some more, study some more, and do nothing. That is, you know what you are then? As my boy Fred Sanford used to say, then you're a big dummy, okay? The dummies of the world are the ones that know things and don't use them. You're a dummy. There are people who God bless them. All they want to do is go to work, collect a paycheck, go home, watch TV, drink a few beers, go to bed, and do it all over again. That's nothing wrong with that. But if you are one of these people who are complaining, whining, bitching, moaning about your situation, and you know you can do something about it, and you do nothing about it, you're the dummy. No offense, but you are a dummy. Listen, I know people both sides of the fence. I know people who they don't even go to work. They collect a check. They watch sports all day long. They watch talk shows all day long, and they are content. You know, they don't care. They're happy. They like, hey, I remember I had a I had a homeboy. He didn't care about working. He didn't care about learning nothing. He was just there. We not friends no more because you can't be hanging around. Listen, you are who you hang around. First off, okay, remember that. But he was one of these people. He was like, man, I'm getting $600 a month. I was like, my boy, that ain't nothing. He was like, hey, it works for me. I said, if it works for you, dog, then it works for you. That dog ain't gonna hunt over here. But if that's you, that's cool. And he's not the problem. You could be the problem, okay? Because you could be one of these people who don't know you don't want that, know you don't want to live like that, and are doing learning, and doing nothing about it. Don't spend all day watching other people's content about what they're doing, and you ain't doing nothing, okay? You listen, you apply, you listen a little more, you apply some more. As I tell people, my wife, the woman never read a business book, okay? And one day she had a chance to acquire culinary school. And she said, what do you think? I said, I mean, you are already running the place. You might as well own the place. She went, did it, had some bumps in the road, learned some lessons. She was able to sell it for a profit, made a profit, and got to relax for a little while, okay? That's what you want to do. And I'm not saying you don't have I'm not saying you want to read something. You want to learn something. I'm not but my wife had already knew the business in and out, so there was nothing for her to read. You know what I mean? But for the rest of us, it's just like I tell you before, told you yesterday. I got the copywriting pipeline. I'm determined to build the pipelines for people, so people can go in, so people can be inside the Tony Rizzano copywriting studio, and they can be outside waiting to get in. Gonna get clients. Gonna build a bunch of clients. In the pipeline. And so I'm like, today I bought a book. And I'm gonna read the book, and then tonight I'm gonna create my little LinkedIn profile, because I never thought about LinkedIn before. But I was reading this thing, and this lady was like, I do LinkedIn, and I think it's a good idea, and it's like a digital card, blah 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 blah. And I said, she makes sense. So I listened to her, I watched her video. It was a 30-minute video, and I said, you know what, tonight Boom. LinkedIn locked in, okay? Because I am very determined to really get this copyrighted off the ground, because as I told you before, I just want to sit at home, do some writing, you know, contact some clients, and then when I'm done with all that, go outside on my back porch, do my crossword puzzle, and watch my daughter run around for the until the good Lord calls me home. But the thing is, I'm not gonna study. Hey, let me study. No, I studied today, learn something, gonna apply it tonight. And it's just the same as what you can do and what you need to do. And I highly recommend you do that. Don't listen. If you don't want to do anything, then don't study the stuff, okay? Because it's just a waste of time. You could be watching WWE or something, okay? You could be watching there's a lot of great movies. My wife just told me a whole list of movies that I haven't watched. You could be watching those if you don't want to learn. If you don't want to learn, don't listen to this podcast. The reason why we have this podcast is for all of us, you know, to to for all of you to learn, marketing and you know anything that you want to learn to be an entrepreneur. This podcast is for you, and also for the mentality you need. The mental side. Because there is something about you because when you own a business, there's no safety net. There's no hey, hey man, a check's gonna come in this week. There's no guarantees of money coming in. And that's where we're at. And I want you to have the confidence and have the know-how to be like, I ain't worried about none of that. I got this, okay? It comes to a point in time in life, when it's like, hey, we doing this or we ain't. Okay. And for you, I want you to be one of those people who say, we doing this. I don't care. I don't care how long it takes me to walk up this hill. Yet the entrepreneurship is like walking up a hill. You tell yourself, I don't care how long it takes. I don't care what they tell me. I don't care who says it's a bad idea. And I told you before, man, don't listen to that. When it comes to people, if they not doing whatever if they not in the game, if they're not in the actual game, if they're just on the sidelines watching, I would not take a lick of advice from them. Okay, you know what you need to do. You know what you need to do. You know what you got to do. Go out, as Adrian told Rocky. Go out and win. Okay, that's it. Get up, learn something, but apply it. If you're gonna be a learn person, stop it. Stop it right now. I'm gonna wave the magic wand. Stop, learn and apply. Learn and apply. Learn one thing, apply it 3 times, okay? you know, learn and apply more than what you're learning, because the best kind of learning is practical knowledge. All right. Do it and practice it. Do it and practice it. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is part motivation, part truth. Okay. But I need you to get out and, well, it was all truth, but I want you to get out there and apply what you are learning. All right. And the reason why I want you to do that is because, hey, no matter who you are, no matter where you are, if you listen to this program, I love you and I appreciate you. And I just want you to be able to I just want you to create the life that you want to create. Okay. And plus, I'm going to need some people to play golf for me sooner than later. And so if you have the more time you have, the more time the more time that you have, the more we can go out and play golf. So, listen, I'm only telling you the truth. These are, I'm going to tell my wife, because I thought about this before we go. Let's. I thought about this. The only time that I really want to, travel the world a little bit is I want to go play golf in like I want to go play golf in like you know, like England maybe, and like it's this beautiful golf course in Wisconsin that I want to go to, and it's this beautiful place in I want to go to Pebble Beach one day and play golf, and so though I whenever I do the podcast and whenever I go, and I think to myself, in the beginning, I always thought like, all right, we're gonna get this podcast rocking and rolling, and downloads are gonna come in, income is gonna come in, and while people are listening, I'm gonna be on the golf course, hitting golf balls, and so I need you, because we're all gonna meet one day, Lord willing. We're all gonna meet one day, and I want us to go out and have a nice game of golf. I want us to be able to laugh together, and joke around together. Um, because anybody that listens to this show is gonna be a success, okay? And the reason why you're gonna be a success is because you learn and you apply. And if you listen to this show, because this show is not one of these shows, and I'm not even patting myself on the back, but this is not like a traditional podcast. This is not like, you know, oh, this guy has a known name, So if you listen to this podcast, you are like me. You're like, hey, I know I can do it. I have confidence in myself. I have abilities that people might not see them, but I see them. And so if you listen to this podcast, you might play the underdog role, But the thing is, you are already a winner. You just have to step into. You're already great. You just got to step into it. All right. And so, as I said before, I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you for listening. We'll be back tomorrow with the all new episode of Online Marketing Moves. If you haven't already, um, like, subscribe. Go to wherever you get podcasts and give us 5 stars. Okay. And so we'll be back tomorrow with all new episode of Online Marketing Moves. But until then, my name is Tony Rizzano. God bless. And it's always, everybody, peace.